What's going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to the final review of the 2022 season. Let's get into it. So this video comes a fair few days after Saturday's preliminary final, mainly because I've had a chest infection, so you can still hear it in my voice. I can't really talk or anything like that properly, but I can't put this off any longer, and I've got a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions still to talk about, and I want to get it out there. Maybe, shed some of it and get your thoughts on it. So on Saturday, late afternoon, Collingwood took on Sydney in a preliminary final. It was one of those games where, obviously everything's on the line. You don't make preliminary finals very often. They're rare to make, even more rare to win, because you got a grand final on the line. Now, going into this game, I was pretty confident. It was, we drove up, as you've probably seen from my vlog. Lots of Collingwood supporters drove up. And let me just tell you that the SCG, although it's a crappy ground, it doesn't look good on TV. Being there, though, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. It was an amazing, amazing ground. Yeah, sure, there was only 45,000 people there, so it was sold out. And it would have been better with 100,000 people, but it was just electrifying. I've never heard Sydney supporters or other opposition supporters so loud. Sydney supporters just blew me out of the water with how loud they were. But then the Collingwood supporters were just matching it and even beating it with the 10,000 supporters or so that we had there. They came out in force, and it was the atmosphere was really, really amazing, and that's one positive that you can take out of that. That wherever Collingwood go, you know that the atmosphere is just going to be absolutely incredible. Now, this game, like I said, I went in not pretty confident. I think I said we were going to win by 11 or something points. We were trying to learn lessons from the last time we played Sydney at the SCG, and look, to an extent we kind of did, but to more of an extent we definitely didn't, and we'll talk about the game a little bit later. But look, it's disappointing how it ended. 1 point. It is sad, and if you join me on my live on Instagram afterwards, I had some choice words to say, and you would have seen me cry as well at the end of that, but you would have seen how proud I was. But I feel defeated still, and I feel flat. 1 point off a grand final. It's Wednesday at the moment, and we should be celebrating grand final week. We should be at the last dance. We had a fairy tale season, and it all came crashing down on Saturday afternoon. And every day since then, I think about it, and it just really hits you like a punch to the guts. But in saying that, I have never been more proud of this football club and this football team in all my 30 years of life. And winning the 2010 grand final, amazing. Making the 2018 grand final, amazing. But I am more proud today as I sit here than I am any other of the 30 years or so that I've barracked for the Collingwood Magpies. The fight until the very end was something that epitomised our season. It was something that we've been doing all year round. And Craig McRae said it at the start of the year. Doesn't matter if we're 60 points up, if we're 60 points down, we will fight until that final siren. And we did. We fought. We were 6 goals down at half time, or thereabouts, 30-something points. And then, Papa kicks that goal. He puts them, I think, close to 30 points up. And then the goals start coming, and they don't stop coming. And, we hit the ground running. Ultimately, to fall short by a point is heartbreaking because we've been winning these close games all season. But to fall short by a point in a preliminary final against the grand finalists, and, in the qualifying final against Geelong, to lose by a goal to the grand finalist, that's a huge achievement. We were 17th, and I will hark on this until the cows come home. We were 17th last season, second last, right? We weren't no one had us making finals. I didn't have us making finals. And people say, oh, but you had a good list. But yeah, there's a whole new system, 44 players or whatever it is has to buy into this new game plan and stuff like this. New administration. We finished third. We had a finals win and 2 losses by 7 points in total to the grand finalists. Of course, what more could you ask for? You could ask for a grand final and you could ask for a win. But it was a fairy tale season, and to get a finals win, I didn't want to go out in straight sets, right? So we ticked that off. We didn't go out in straight sets, and we just smashed Freo in every aspect of the word. Would I have liked no fight back and lose by 30 points, then a fight back and lose by 1 point? It's hard to say. Of course, I would want that, but a part of me was like, yeah, I'd rather lose by 30 than lose by 1 in that sort of fashion a week before grand final. But it is what it is, and that fight and that, just that hunger that we saw from Collingwood this season is something that's not going to go away. That's in our DNA now. That is in our DNA now. What was it? We won 9, 10 or something close games, or there was 13 close games all up, and we won 8 of them or something like that. So, fantastic, right? Fantastic. But yeah, we just couldn't do it in the prelim. Our lives just had run out. Now, I know I've experienced it, and I don't know if you guys have it as well, but you'll have opposition supporters telling you, oh, you lost by 1 point in a prelim. You may as well have, not made finals, or you're just like finishing 17th now because no one remembers the preliminary final losers. And, to an extent, that's true. No one remembers who lost in a prelim. But I guarantee you, every single supporter of the 18, 17, 16, 15 other clubs would trade their whole season in any accolades, any individual accolades, to be where we were on Saturday afternoon. 1 final win and 2 losses to grand finalists, because that's a win in my books. Yes, we didn't make the grand final, and I'm devastated. Of course I'm devastated. Like, I cried myself to sleep on Saturday night. But this team is just kicking goals, and not enough on Saturday afternoon, but you have to be proud. You have to be. You can be devastated, but you have to be proud because it is an incredible season that we have had under Craig and all the other coaches. So now breaking down this game. Look, you're not going to win a lot of games where you let the opposition kick 70 points or 73 points in the first half, right? Sydney absolutely blitzed us in that first quarter. They just knew what to do to kind of get under our skin, or their centre clearance work and their goals and their big forwards and their run and carry. They just were choking any sort of Collingwood game plan. We just couldn't get a run on. And yeah, we got a few goals and stuff like that. But whenever we punched them, they just came back and punched harder. That first half, there wasn't a lot going on. We just weren't playing Collingwood branded football. There was a lot of guys that were down. The big one was Darcy Cameron, who has had a fantastic season since Brodie Grundy went down. He just didn't back it up on the weekend. And when you're going against, a Tom Hickey and stuff like that, you need your rucks to be good, and he just wasn't providing anything. Mason Cox did when he got into the ruck. Then he did his groin and had to be subbed out. Kruger gave us a bit, but it was all too little, too late, I think. That damage was done in that first quarter where I think they kicked 4 or 5 goals in a row. And, we just had to play catch up. We did, obviously, but that damage was done in that first quarter. I can go on about, how all these 50 metres and that push in the back against Papley to Darcy Moore. And yeah, ultimately they do cost goals and they do cost you points and stuff like that. But you can't, and as much as I tweet about it and stuff, and these umpires are crap and blah, 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 73 points in the first half in a preliminary final. We were down by 30 or 36 points at halftime. That's the crux of it. In saying that, we came out in that second half ready to play, and we were seeing more Collingwood football. We were seeing more running. That last quarter especially was very much Collingwood football. In that second half, Sydney only kicked 3 goals, and we kicked 7 goals. So we definitely won that second half. And if we had played like that at the start of the game, we would have gone on and won because we were playing really good football in the second half. It just was just too little, too late. And I think that's the most disappointing thing. Yes, we had that fight back. And then that last quarter, like I said, we were playing Collingwood football, running through the middle, creating chances, frantic fast football that we're known to play and known to love. We provided that. We just needed to do it a little bit sooner. Maybe we were overawed by the occasion, or Sydney definitely just came out of the blocks and we just couldn't peg them back. But that's for the coaches to decipher and have a chat about. We had so many inside 50s, but we went at 39%. We had like 20-something scoring shots to our 62 or so inside 50s. So, that's another area that we definitely need to improve in next season, and we'll talk about that in a season review and stuff like that. But we had all the opportunity there, and like I said, it was that first half that absolutely killed us. But the fight back in the second half was amazing. Jack Crisp was best on ground for us. Amazing. He did the rare triple-double, if you check my Instagram. Just a great player in his 200th game. I wish we could have gotten over the line for him. Pendlebury was good. Nick Dacos when he got into the game. Sidebottom when he got into the game. There was a lot of players that were good after they got into the game. A lot of talk about how Braden Maynard played on Buddy Franklin for a little bit. Jeremy Howe as well. Should we have stayed Darcy Moore there? But then you lose that attacking power. We're working with the team that we have, and you got to think that this season we didn't have a key full forward. We didn't have a key full back. We didn't have a big ruckman who can help us with that clearances. But Darcy Cameron and Mason Cox did what they could, and that all of those sort of problems were just amplified in that last game against Sydney. It was kind of like everything that we did this season against all odds. So it's the fight back, no key defender, no super big key forward like a Buddy or Jeremy Cameron. The ruck and the centre clearances sort of thing, contested possessions, all amplified in the game against Sydney. It was just a whole combination of our season in one game, tale of two halves in the game, and we lost. I can talk about this game until the cows come home. I don't know why I said that. I never said that once in a video. Now I've said it twice in a video. But there's no point living in what ifs. What if Darcy Moore, that kick to Jeremy Howe? What if Jeremy Howe attacked it and marked it instead of McInerney intercepting and kicking a goal? Like Craig McRae said, there's no point living in what ifs because it just makes you sick. And I think I said this recently, where football is a bunch of what ifs, and that's what kills you. It's the what ifs that kill you. So, it's devastating. It's sad. It's that, like, 1 point from even extra time. Extra time would have helped. 1 point. We should be celebrating a grand final week this week, but we're not, right? But we're not. But I am so proud of this team. Like, I've said it a million times in this video. They've just floored me. Craig and just everyone, Leper, and you got Jared Wade, and it's heartbreaking. It is, and I can say be positive and be proud and stuff, and you can, but the heart, it still hurts. Of course it does. Being that close to another grand final berth, it hurts. It hurts, and our fairy tale season comes to an end, and a team has to win and a team has to lose. Unfortunately, we were the losers on Saturday, but it just shows that we can match it with the best. It's not like Brisbane where they lost to Geelong by 70 points in a prelim. We can hold our heads up so high that the two grand finalists, we lost by a kick, within a kick of winning those games. We're a kick away from the best teams with the team that we have at the moment. That's great. That's good news to me. But yeah, we'll be back. Flag Pies 2023. But let me know your thoughts down below. We'll do a season review. We'll do another chat later. I've got a couple of things coming up, so we'll do all that later. tell me your thoughts about the game, and let me know, let me know what's going through your head. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.